2010 was a great year for Sonic the Hedgehog. We had 4 games that released that year. Well, technically 5, and only 3 of them were good. Sonic 4 at least did critically well. Undeserved. The Sonic franchise was looking better than it was in the 2000s. While I personally prefer the tone of the Sonic games in the 2000s, Sonic wasn't really doing too well in the dark ages. 2005 through 2009, critics were just bashing Sonic games even if they were actually good. But something changed in 2010. A little game known as Sonic Colors, the game that saved the franchise. Released on November 11th, 2010, Sonic Colors is a game that released on the Nintendo Wii and is a 3D platformer that used the boost formula from Sonic Rush and Sonic Unleashed. Sega actually took the criticisms of the nighttime stages in Sonic Unleashed to being boring, even though those nighttime stages are actually pretty fun and good, and kept the daytime gameplay and made it into a full game. This game did critically well, and some said it was the best Sonic game since Sonic Adventure 2, which I disagree with. But believe it or not, Sonic Colors was not always Sonic Colors. It was originally a completely different game. Sonic Generations. Time for a quick history lesson. Sonic Generations started development in 2009 around the same time Sonic and the Black Knight came out. The game was originally called Sonic Anniversary, and it was planned to release on Xbox 360, PSP, DS, and Wii. The PSP version was recently found, but it's not in a playable state since the disc is damaged. But we have found this screenshot of Mushroom Hill Zone in the game's files. Anyway, the Wii couldn't handle Sonic Anniversary, so they made a completely different game out of it, which is known as Sonic Colors. The PSP version most likely turned into the 3DS version of Sonic Generations released in 2011. And the DS version most likely turned into Sonic Colors DS, which is the game we are going to be talking about. So Sonic Colors wouldn't even exist without Sonic Generations development. Now we've pretty much talked about the Wii version. Now let's focus on this part of the video. Sonic Rush Street, Sonic Colors DS. This game is also pretty underrated, and Sonic fans don't even know there is a DS version of Sonic Colors since it's overshadowed by its older brother, the Wii version. I will be drawing comparisons between this and the Wii version a lot in this video because they both pretty much have the same zones and music, but the story is a bit different. The premise of the story is the same, but some different stuff happens in this version. The game's opening is a compressed version of the opening from the Wii version. Alright, now let's talk about the gameplay. Sonic pretty much controls the same as he did in Sonic Rush and Rush Adventure, except now he has a slide and stomp. He can't do tricks anymore, which is pretty disappointing, but now he has a fully functioning homing attack. One thing that was really missing from the Rush games was a good homing attack. You now also have the air boost in this game, just like in Sonic Unleashed Generations and the Wii version of Colors, and I think it's pretty useful. This game introduces the Wisp. Some people love him, some people hate him. But to be honest, the Wisp were best in this game. The Wisp are aliens that Eggman has captured, and Sonic can grab them and it gives them unique power-ups. In Generations, the only Wisps that were available were the Rocket and Spikes, and they weren't really that fun to use in Planet Wisp. In Lost World, they were kind of useless unless if you were going for red rings, and in Forces, they are okay. But they are just weapons though. But here in both versions of Colors, the Wisp are actually pretty fun to use in my opinion. There are also default Wisp capsules you can grab which will fill your boost gauge, and defeating enemies will also give you these default Wisp, just like the Wii version. This game also has a little race mode where you can race against this ball of light or something. Didn't spend much time here other than getting an emerald. People may not agree with me on this, but Sonic Colors DS is actually the second best of the Rush trilogy in my opinion. The gameplay is fun and satisfying, the level design is pretty good, the Wisps are fun to use, and the bosses are actually pretty fun and challenging. The story is Rush 1 and Rush Adventure had better stories, but that doesn't make Rush Colors' story bad though. Like I said before, it pretty much follows the same premise as the Wii version. The story is kind of like the classics, or more specifically, Sonic 1 and 2. You can save Wisp inside of robots and capsules and stop Eggman. But at least this game doesn't have cringy dialogue like the Wii version.
Hey Tails, you missed the BBBE. Huh? Best boss beating ever. Shut your stupid.
It's really easy to get to the special stages in this game. It's almost the exact same way you get to them in Sonic 1 and CD. You get to the end of the stage with 50 rings, except there's no giant ring to jump into. And then the game asks you if you want to enter the special stage. The special stage here is the half pipe like in Sonic Rush 1. Oh god. Good thing they aren't that bad here. All you gotta do is get the colorful spears, and thankfully, you can restart the special stage if you mess up. This game introduces red rings to the series. Ever since Sonic Colors, red rings have been a staple for the Sonic franchise. In the Wii version, if you get every red ring in the game, you will unlock Super Sonic as a playable character. This is the first time Super Sonic has ever been playable in a 3D Sonic game as far as I know. Sadly, you do not unlock Super Sonic in the DS version of the game. So the red rings are just there for you to unlock artwork. Lame. But, I have not done this yet, but if you get all red rings in the DS version, it gives you an infinite boost gauge. Yay. The music in this game are just DS remixes of the tracks from the Wii version, and they sound pretty damn good. Sonic is the only playable character this time around, no playable Blaze. I mean, I can't blame them because around this time, stupid critics like IGN were bashing Sonic for having multiple playable characters. From here on, Sonic has been the only playable character in every mainline Sonic game until Sonic Forces brought back Shadow as a playable character. Oh, and the custom hero. I would really like to see more characters playable in future Sonic games, like Tails or Silver. I missed that in Sonic games. Anyway, I think I've rambled on enough about this game's mechanics, and now let's get into this game's story and stages. The game starts off with a cutscene of Sonic and Tails going to Eggman's amusement park in a space shuttle. This is interesting because in the Wii version, the game just puts you right in the action. No cutscene, no dialogue, nothing. Anyway, Eggman built an interstellar amusement park, not the first time, in space to show how he started a new leaf and it's done with his evil deeds. Sonic and Tails are suspicious of this because it's a bit too good to be true for Eggman to turn good all of a sudden, so they just went to the park to investigate. And here we are in the first stage, Tropical Resort. There are 2 acts in this game unlike the Wii version that has like 6 acts and a boss. Tropical Resort, as you can see, is outside of the amusement park. On the first act, you surprisingly can't boost yet. You will of course unlock that later. It's really interesting how the bottom parts of the stage is underwater, and that's something the Wii version didn't have at all in Tropical Resort. Also, I really like this part of the level where you glide and you can see the Ferris wheel in the background. After completing this stage, we get introduced to the map and head on to Act 2. We see these new characters named Orbot and Cubot trying to capture these strange creatures. Orbot and Cubot are basically just comic relief characters and are Eggman's henchmen. They have appeared in every Sonic game after this. Even Sonic Boom. The creatures get away and the bots retreat. We check up on the aliens to see if they are okay, but then the aliens went inside of Sonic. He mentions how he feels a new power, which is the boost, like he hasn't had it before. Here we go to Act 2 and now we have the ability to boost. I also gotta mention, I don't really like how in Sonic Colors your boost gauge only fills up by getting the wisp or destroying enemies. I guess the devs didn't want you to boost as much or something. And yeah, the other Rush games, your boost gauge fills up by defeating enemies, but you can fill it up quicker by doing tricks, something this game doesn't have. I prefer the way Sonic Unleashed in Generations handles the boost, by the boost gauge fills up by rings and destroying enemies. After completing Act 2, we get a cutscene on how Sonic feels a rush of power. I see what they did there. We go back to the map and now we get introduced to the side missions. They are exactly what they sound like. Side missions. We go into the next side mission and we see the bots talking to, Green? Orbot and Cubot puts us in another challenge to save 30 Wisps in 1 minute. I don't know why they want us to save Wisp even though they're capturing them, but okay. After getting the Wisp and getting a D rank, the bots runs away and Cream and Cheese thanks us. Yeah, a lot of Sonic's friends shows up in a side mission. I'm not going to discuss all of the interactions because they don't really interact that much. Sonic friends are just there. But some of the interactions are actually pretty cool. There's one part in a side mission where you meet Blaze and Silver, and Tails asks, "How's Marine doing?" Which she is doing fine. Even though we never see her in person, at least this game mentions her in some way. But yeah, a bunch of Sonic's friends shows up here and they don't really add much to the story other than, "Hey, we haven't seen these guys in years, it's cool to see them here." In the Wii version, the only characters we see is Sonic, Tails, Eggman, and Yacker. The side missions never change too. You just have to save Wisp, complete the stage in a time limit, and grab 250 rings. But I did them anyway just to see the character interactions. Anyway, after the shenanigans with the bots, we see Eggman has captured a lot of aliens in capsules. As if you couldn't tell already, Eggman is still onto his evil deeds. Eggman tells Orbot and Cubot to unleash the Globotron, the first boss we're going to be fighting. Bosses in this game are actually pretty alright. compared to the Wii version at least. The bosses were a joke in the Wii version, like look at this. But the bosses here in Colors DS aren't even close to as challenging as the Sonic Rush 1 bosses, which isn't really a bad thing. You basically just have to hit its hands and look, you get Wisp after hitting the boss. So you know what that means. You can finally boost in bosses. After making the boss perish, we see Tails working on his Wii U gamepad, which turns out to be a translator to know what the aliens are actually saying. Sonic asks what is happening to their people, and the alien tells us his name is Yacker and he's from a race of aliens called the Wisp. He's asking Sonic and Tails to save the aliens because Eggman is enslaving them. So you know what that means? You have to go all over the amusement park to save the Wisp. Meanwhile, the bots are cleaning up the scrap pieces of the robot we just destroyed, and they feel like they are missing an arm. Turns out that arm is in some kind of building that has some kind of energy coming out of it. Now we move on to a larger map that shows us all of the stages in the game. We have an option to either go to Sweet Mountain or Starlight Carnival. I went to Sweet Mountain because that's the route I usually take in the Wii version. Once we got there, oh, would you look at that, a new Wisp. You have to tap the moving Wisp on the bottom screen with the stylus. Yacker tells us this Wisp is called Red Burst. This Wisp never appears in the console version of Sonic Colors and we never see it again until Sonic Forces. Anyway, can I mention how Tails' translator works perfectly immediately? In the Wii version, the translator acts up the first time around, but here, it works perfectly immediately. I don't know, I just find that interesting. The way this Wisp works is you have to press the X button to transform and press the B button to do small infinite jumps. If you hold the jump button down then let go, the Wisp will burst into a giant explosion which will make you jump higher and wipe out every enemy on screen. This is a pretty good starting Wisp, and I like how it works. Now on to Sweet Mountain. Just like the name says, this place is diabetes, and don't you think Sweet Sweet Canyon from Mario Kart 8 ripped off Sweet Mountain? I'm kidding. You use the burst a lot in this stage so you can get through, what is this, popcorn bags? Overall, it's a pretty fun stage, but I honestly prefer how it was in the Wii version because you can use drill and see all the details in the stage, and honestly, the level design is a bit better there, even though that game had a lot of 2D sections. After that, we go to the boss immediately. No cutscenes or nothing, we just go straight to the boss. The boss is interesting because you have to boost into these little robots he sends back at him, which will make him fall, and then you can attack him. We defeated the boss and met up with Tails. He tells us his translator has been acting up, but he fixed it quickly. Yacker tells us the reason why Eggman is capturing the Wisp is because he can use their energy to make the Nega Wisp. We need to free the Wisp before he can do so. On to Starlight Carnival, one of the most beautiful stages in Sonic history. And here, we get introduced to a new Wisp, the Orange Rocket. It's pretty self-explanatory. An orange rocket. You have to hold down the X button and let go to blast off. I really love how Sonic skydives after using it. This was in the Wii version as well, but it's nice to see it here in the DS version too. The design here for Starlight Carnival is interesting. In the Wii version, you run on this rainbow road looking thing in the starting part with robots firing lasers at you. It was really gorgeous for a Wii game and you go inside of a giant spaceship. Here in the DS version, you're in the ship. The whole time. It just looks like another metallic Sonic level. Nearly not as cool as the Wii version. Yeah, in the Wii version you still go inside the ship, but it was still interesting to look at. But for Colors DS, that's only for Act 1. Act 2 on the other hand looks more interesting. You're outside and you can see all these ships in the background. And this part where you jump on an arrow and you ride on the arrow, it's pretty awesome. We go to a suspicious looking machine and Eggman appears. He shoots Tails with some sort of new gun he has. This causes Tails to be mind controlled by Eggman. But immediately after that, the machine powering Eggman's gun ran out of juice. What a missed opportunity. This also happens in the Wii version. Just imagine if this event lasted longer and we got a boss fight against Tails. This would have been a really heartbroken moment in Sonic history because we are fighting our buddy that we've known for so long. But just like many meta-era Sonic stories, it was a missed opportunity. Eggman says he will get lots of more juice, so he leaves. He gives us a boss to entertain us in the meantime. This time, it's an auto runner just like in the Wii version. Instead of running to the enemy and homing attacking a few times while quick stepping, you instead hit the objects back at it. The boss is kind of challenging because it barely gives you any rings unless if you break some objects. The hacker tells us the machine we saw earlier is actually a generator to suck the aliens' power. There is more of them across all 5 of the planets. And here we are to the next area, Aquarium Park. This introduces a new wisp, Cyan Laser. It allows us to zoom across the level like a laser. Of course. Aquarium Park is in my opinion one of the best stages in Sonic. It's such a chill yet fun water level. The stage looks absolutely outstanding in the Wii version, and the music on this stage, especially Act 2, is one of my favorite tracks in Sonic history. You know, I would have actually preferred this stage to return in Generations instead of Planet Wisp in the Wii version. This also shows how Sonic can actually swim in this game, and it's weird because Sonic does not know how to swim. Unfortunately, you can't do this in the DS version. It's really cool how you can rotate in the fish underwater and bounce on the giant jellyfish. This little segment I like too. But overall, I like how it was done in the Wii version better. The underwater segments were much more expansive, and in the beginning of the stage, if you go left, you can get a secret red ring. You see, it's little things like this why I love Sonic Colors. Okay, maybe I am talking about the Wii version a bit too much, so let's just get back to the DS version. The boss here is pretty unique. The platform acts as a seesaw, and the boss will place an object which you gotta stomp to make the object fling up and hit the boss. This is the only time I think the stomp was really useful in a Sonic boss. The final phase, the boss gets desperate and crashes onto the platform, leaving it wide open for the final attack. The next stage, and the most iconic stage in this game, Planet Wisp. There's a reason why it was in Generations. Such a peaceful and grassy land, but later on the stage, we see it become more mechanical. We see Eggman has really ruined the Wisp homeland, and you can see it's under construction. Almost like a bad feature in Sonic CD. Here in the DS version, we unlock the Yellow Drill Wisp. It drills underground where you can find secrets. Planet Wisp was a bit different looking in the DS version. There's less white and dark orange and more gray, brown, and silver look to it. When I saw this for the first time, it caught me off a bit because of how different it looked. There's also more plants, pipes, and rocks this time around. I was kind of lost here with the boss the first time around. I was waiting and wondering, what do I have to do in this part with the arrows? But it turns out you actually have to use the boost on the boss to get the drill wisp to drill underground and attack the machines under. Using more of your brain in a Sonic boss? Wow. Turns out Eggman isn't here, but at least we saved the wisp. On Eggman's side, it seems like the Nega Wisp robot is almost ready, and a new area has appeared, Asteroid Coaster. This place looks like it's full of mind-controlled Nega Wisp. This is where we get introduced to the Nega Wisp, Violet Void. It sucks up every object around you, even environment sometimes. It's basically a black hole. The more things it eats up, the bigger it gets. This stage Asteroid Coaster doesn't look too different from its Wii counterpart, the inside part anyway, because the DS version takes place usually inside, while the Wii version has you riding on a roller coaster, destroying asteroids, and running on a man-made planet built by Eggman. Here you do ride on a roller coaster, but these dinosaur-looking skeletons are trying to bite you. Also, I hate Mission 6-1. You have to collect these flags while you're void the entire time. Just how close the flags are to the acid, and the acid instantly kills you. It doesn't help that you're on a time limit too. But in the end, Asteroid Coaster is overall a pretty cool stage. Especially the boss. It looks like a rehash of the Starlight Carnival boss, which was also the case for the Wii version. But here, the boss carries this large Monster Energy drink asteroid and you just have to hit it. Later, the boss comes down and it's open for you to hit, but it shoots large lasers which can really throw you off. And since we're going fast, our rings fly off the screen extremely fast and we can't collect them again if we lose them. So this boss is pretty challenging. But the best part of this boss is at the ending when you use the Nega Void Wisp to basically vor the entire boss. Even the game knew it was so epic that it gave me an S rank. So that means we did it. We saved the Wisp, but we still need to find Yacker. But before we head off to go find him, Eggman shows up to use the full power of Nega energy, but something goes wrong. Remember that robot arm from earlier that got stuck? Yeah, that caused the cannon to malfunction and causes it to go out of control. Look, it even gets the moon. Reminds you of something? While Eggman is fighting with Orbot and Cubot, Sonic and Tails decides to bail. But Eggman is not letting us go that easy, so Sonic tells Tails to go find Yacker while Sonic handles Eggman. Eggman turns into his Nega Wisp armor and we run away from it in terminal velocity. In the Wii version, it was a bit different. You run down to Earth on a large platform while robots shoots lasers at you, a giant robot chases you, and you destroy Motobugs. But here, Eggman is the one chasing you while you dodge obstacles. The platform here is like a giant glass window too, and you can see the Earth through it. It's shorter in the DS version, but more challenging because there's more obstacles. After that, we have our final showdown against Nega Wisp armor. The boss here switches to different wisps to attack you, just like the Wii version. We basically just have to wait until the boss lays its head down so we can boost into it and steal its wisp as you can see on the bottom screen. The first pattern gives us the burst wisp. Its second pattern, when it swings its tail and lies down, gives us the drill wisp. After stealing all 5 of Eggman's wisp, we use them and go in a mashing contest. We soon let Eggman taste the rainbow. As the giant black hole sucks up the entire amusement park, Sonic gets sucked into it. But thankfully, the Wisp saves our hero. Shame that the DS version didn't have the segment where you run away from the black hole like in the Wii version. That part was cool. And with that, all the Wisps fly to freedom in this laggy FMV. They return Sonic to Earth and Sonic meets up with Tails and Yacker. Sonic mentions how it was a cakewalk even though he was near death being sucked into a black hole, but I guess he's been through worse. Yacker thanks Sonic for saving his race, and we say our final goodbyes to him. And that was Sonic Rush 3, Sonic Colors on the Nintendo DS. I lied, no it wasn't. After getting all 7 Chaos Emeralds and after the defeat of Eggman, we have one more threat, that being the Mother of Wisp, Mother Wisp. The reason why she's evil is because Eggman's mind control thing was still into play. Yacker wants us to stop her, so we turn into Super Sonic to face off against Mother Wisp. I kind of wish this was in the Wii version since we would have had such a cool Super Sonic fight, plus it would have looked amazing on the Wii. This boss is pretty easy, all you gotta do is boost into the asteroids which will hit the Mother's hands. And then on this top part of the screen you gotta boost into the eye thing or whatever that is. After defeating Mother Wisp, we revert her back to her normal form. We never really see Mother Wisp again until like Sonic Runners or Team Sonic Racing. Yacker tells us Mother Wisp is actually the one who created the Wisp and their planet. Yacker and Mother Wisp go back to their home and all the planets disappear. Sonic and Tails goes back to their planet and they race back home. And that was Sonic Colors for the Nintendo DS. Another amazing Sonic game. This game was a blast to go through and I really enjoyed my time with it. I enjoyed my time with all 3 of these games and I wish more people will play them. So we just went through an in-depth retrospective of all 3 Sonic Rush games. What a journey it was. Replaying these games were such a joy, and it would be cool if Sega makes another game like this on a Nintendo Switch or something. And knowing how the Sonic fanbase is right now, and it's begging for a fully 3D Sonic game, I think it's best to wait for another Sonic Rush game. If I had to rank these games, I would put Sonic Rush 1 as the best Sonic Rush game because of how fun the gameplay is, simple yet awesome story and characters, and music. Sonic Colors DS as the second best because it's more focused on gameplay, best level design in the Rush series, and in my opinion, the plot wasn't that good as the others, but I love seeing all the characters appear again. And last, Sonic Rush Adventure. Its music, plot and characters, exploration, and levels are all fantastic. My only problems is the pacing. If Sonic Rush Adventure was a bit shorter and the bosses were harder, I would have liked it a tad bit more than Sonic Colors DS. Sonic Rush Adventure being my least favorite Rush game doesn't mean it's bad, of course, far from it, but I just like the other Rush games better. Not to say the other games had its problems too, like Sonic Rush 1 with the bottomless pits and defeat the enemies before you progress thing was kind of annoying, and Colors DS could have had better writing, and I do miss the trick system. But overall, they are all fantastic games that you should check out. I sure like them better than the advanced games. Heck, I kind of like Sonic Rush 1 better than some of the classic games. But of course, it can't top Sonic 3 and Knuckles.